Yeah, here we are as usual. Good evening. Hope you had a good day. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to your Monday programme. Now, coming up tonight, patients, MPs and unions demand answers today after two major hospitals hit rock bottom in the NHS league tables.
It's really disappointing to see that we're at the bottom of the league table.
It's the management team letting down the hospitals and the root of the problem.
This is absolutely not about nursing staff or doctors.
The management needs to get on the floor and work alongside the nurses to see what they actually have to do in the time scale.
And tonight, allegations of bullying at the Hull Royal Infirmary and Castle Hill. Well, what can be done to turn things around? What is your experience of the two hospitals? We've already heard lots of support for staff on the wards. Your experience of the two hospitals. Also, if you work at Castle Hill or the Hull Royal Infirmary, would love your views on what you think's going wrong. And of course, if you want to be anonymous, let me know and we won't read any names out. But if you want to get in touch, the email address is there, looknorth@bbc.co.uk, looknorth@bbc.co.uk, or you can tweet me or text 81333, but start that text with the word Look North, it will come straight to us. More in a moment. Also on the programme tonight, more than 30 pregnant sheep killed by a loose dog as new laws come in. Farmers say it's getting worse. The first big test as the A63 reopens, praise as thousands of vehicles pass through a new underpass, ending years of jams. And the Look North handbook for deterring seagulls has a new entry: googly eyes to keep the big birds off your chips.
What do you reckon? Yeah, it looks all right.
It's a novel idea, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. I think they'd still want the chip.
Keely Donovan, you've missed this programme.
Whatever next.
You're back, you're back.
I'm back and I'm afraid I come with bad news, Peter. Last week we had a taste of spring. This week, a return to winter. I'll be back shortly with all the details.
Yes, the very bottom of the hospital league tables. That's the position of the trust that runs the Hull Royal Infirmary and also Castle Hill Hospital. We reported last week about these NHS rankings that place them at 134th out of 134 in the country. Well, today, patients, unions and politicians are demanding answers, with one MP alleging bullying in the workforce. The Health Partnership responsible says concerns about culture aren't new and that an improvement plan is in place. I'll be talking to the MP, Dame Diana Johnson, and also the Nurses Union in a moment. But first, this from Crispin Rolfe.
Rolling down the rankings from 123rd last September to 130th in December, and now in March, 134th out of 134 trusts across the whole of the country. That's where the Hull University Teaching Hospitals NHS Trust now lies, despite new management being brought in last July.
I was seen by my GP back in September.
Now the question urgent heart patient Nigel Whaling from Hutton Cranswick once answered is when improvements will be made. He's still waiting to be seen by a cardiologist months after his GP referred him to the Trust's Castle Hill Hospital.
The GP diagnosed suspected heart failure. Unfortunately, that was 25 weeks ago and I'm still waiting for a letter to say I've got an appointment to see a cardiologist.
What was the time frame you were expecting?
Well, it's been well advertised to the public that you should wait no longer than 18 weeks for a routine appointment.
A spokeswoman for the Trust says they've got a plan which includes clear actions to strengthen patient safety, stabilise services and also improve reliability of care. Changes are underway as well to improve the booking system here, as well as to reduce cancer wait times. The question is, what does this mean for staff and patients right here, right now?
I mean, the treatment I've had here, it's horrible.
A first-rate job they've done with me. I've had a finger removed. I've been here for a week and they've just been great.
The management needs to get on the floor to see what's going on. It's just impossible for the nurses.
Today, the Trust claimed that it was working on improving culture and staff morale within its hospitals, but that there was still a way to go.
It's worrying for anyone who's used or will use the Trust's hospitals, and also all those who work at those hospitals, because staff can't deliver that patient safety if they aren't supported as well.
Meantime, concern not just for himself but for other patients, Nigel Whaling has written to the Health Secretary to ask what will be done.
People are very poorly and they need treatment and they're not getting it in a timely manner.
Crispin Rolfe, BBC Look North.
Well, the Royal College of Nursing is a union that supports midwives and nurses. Earlier I spoke to Peter Clark, the Regional Director for Yorkshire and the Humber. Peter, I mean, this situation, poor performance by doctors and nurses and other medical staff, or is the management team letting down the hospitals and the root of the problem?
This is absolutely not about nursing staff or doctors providing poor care.
So what's going wrong? Something is going wrong. 134th out of 134 trusts, right at the bottom.
This is about a system that is not working effectively, that is not enabling staff to provide the high quality care.
You mean the chief executive and those who run the trust?
Well, the trusts have had a new chief executive since last summer. They've had an improvement team in, which have cost £390,000. This is about the service not delivering.
NHS staff have got in touch with us over the weekend saying that the trust needs to do more. What do they need to do?
The trusts need to be enabling staff to provide their care. The trusts need to be looking at how they can best use their resources to provide the best quality care. They need to be lobbying government for more funding. OK,
I'm going to be speaking to one of our local MPs in a moment. What should she be saying to get this sorted?
I think she should absolutely be lobbying government for more funding for NHS, more funding to provide proper quality care, proper quality staff on the wards with the right skills and the right mix. It's about funding. This is ensuring that the NHS is funded appropriately to enable it to provide the care it needs, that people of Hull deserve.
Peter Clark, good to have you on the programme. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Well, that was quite clear, wasn't it? The Royal College of Nursing think it's all about funding and that they need more money from the government. So I spoke then to the Hull North and Cottingham MP, Dame Diana Johnson. Dame Diana, do you see this situation caused by poor medical staff or poor management?
Well, look, I think our frontline staff in the local hospitals are doing an amazing job and they're facing a lot of challenge at the moment. But I do know there's been some churn around management and that's caused some problems. And it's really disappointing to see that we're at the bottom of the league tables because my constituents deserve to have very good
and I gather you
NHS care.
You've heard complaints of a bullying culture.
I have. I've had some whistleblowers come forward who are concerned about what's going on. So I have met with the chief executive, the interim chief executive, to talk about that. I've also met with the trade unions and I've had a conversation with the Minister for Health to explain to her how concerned we all are about what's going on.
I've just spoken to the RCN. They say that you, as in Dame Diana, should lobby the government for more funding. They say it's about funding and that's leading to poor quality care. Do you accept that from the RCN?
I've got a great deal of respect for the RCN, but this government has committed to putting £29 billion into the NHS. We've got a massive investment going in to a public service that we all care passionately about. I think there are some real questions about management in our local trust. They need to be addressed. We've got this improvement team going in. They need to actually deliver now and see those improvements.
And what about the interim chief executive? Do you think that she should have accepted our invitation to come on here and talk to me last week to tell us what's going wrong and the pressures that they're under?
I think it's always important for those in positions of responsibility to come out and to communicate clearly. I always try and make myself available when you ask me to come on the programme. I think the Chief Executive, I think it would be good for her to come and explain what she's doing now to see those improvements that we all want in our local trust.
And do you think a Chief Executive of a trust which is 134th out of 134, do you think she is worth a salary of £279,000?
Well, I've always been very concerned about the very high level of salaries in the NHS. When you think about what the Prime Minister of this country earns, which is a lot less than that, and you think about the responsibilities the Prime Minister has, I think there is an issue about management and about the excessive salaries.
Do you think she earns too much then?
Well, I tell you what, if she gets us right up the league tables and up to the top 10 trusts in the country, I may well think she's worth it. But she's got a job of work to do and I want to see her deliver for my constituents and those who rely on Castle Hill and Hull Royal Infirmary, because we've got to make this work for people.
Very good to have you on the programme as always. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you.
Well, just to say, the Chief Executive wasn't available for interview. Instead, the Humber Health Partnership sent us a statement. They say they have an improvement plan grounded in patient safety, that challenges facing their hospitals are not new, and that they've been under sustained pressure for a long time. They add that they take culture concerns very seriously and are being fully open and honest about the scale of the challenges. Well, like your thoughts on this one, the Hull Royal Infirmary and Castle Hill, do they belong at the bottom of the hospital league tables, right at the bottom of all in the country? What needs to change? And do you use the hospitals regular? You might have a view either way, good or bad. And as I say, if you work at one of the hospitals, we'd love to hear from you. Just say you work there and you want to be anonymous, and you can be. The email address, looknorth@bbc.co.uk, looknorth@bbc.co.uk. Text 81333, 81333. Start the text with the word Look North. And just let's finish on something positive. This from John. In direct opposition to the current ratings of Hull Royal and Castle Hill, the consultant in question at Castle Hill has provided my father with excellent care. We've been treated exceptionally, both as patient and relative, by all the staff that we've had contact with. We'll have some more at the end of the programme. Some other news. 2 people in their 70s have been arrested following the death of an elderly woman in Sleaford. Lincolnshire police were called to Sandringham Way yesterday morning in the early hours, where they found the woman's body. The force says it's treating her death as suspicious. A 74-year-old man and a 75-year-old woman have been arrested. 34 pregnant sheep killed by an out-of-control dog. Lincolnshire farmers say that incidents like this are all too common. This recent attack near Louth happened in the same week when tougher laws were brought in to protect livestock. Police can now seize dogs and take DNA samples, while courts can impose unlimited fines. There are some pictures that you may find upsetting in this report from Sarah May Buchiri.
The attack happened in a field near here. 34 sheep were attacked by at least one dog. Now 4 of those sheep died at the scene. The rest died a while later because of shock and their injuries. All of the sheep were also pregnant at the time of the attack. Police say it's not just a traumatic event for the farmer, it's a financial loss too, as they estimate the sheep were worth between £10,000 to £15,000. They're urging anyone with any information to get in touch.
Nearby to where it happened, I met Rosie as she was walking her dogs. She says she'd heard about the attack.
I was really shocked because it's so secluded. There's obviously a lot of dog walkers, but it was a bit upsetting.
Why is it so important to have them on the lead around here?
Because they can run off and there's livestock that you can't see, but also the fields go for miles.
Do you think it's on the owner to be responsible here?
Yeah, I do. It's just common decency to put the other dogs on the leads.
Down at Louth's livestock market, local farmers say they weren't surprised to hear about the attack, as it happens all too often.
I've had a dog attack on a sheep this year myself. It lost all its ears and was running around the field alive. We had to put it down when we got hold of it, and it was fine, in the middle of the week, and nobody admits who it is. So there's more dog attacks around here. It doesn't surprise me now. But it's not the dogs, it's the owners. I've got 10 dogs and, they're all a bit wild, but never attack a sheep.
Well, it was absolutely disgusting when people should keep more control of the dogs. It's just disgusting. Should never happen.
Last week, the law changed to strengthen police powers and increase penalties for livestock worrying. And farmers in this part of Lincolnshire hope it works and reduces attacks. Sarah May Buchiri, BBC Look North, Louth.
I certainly have people talking tonight. Well, don't forget, if you've got a story that you think we should be talking about, it's your programme, you know where we are. Get in touch, tell me what the problem is and what's going on, and also give me email address and also a phone number. I look forward to hearing from you as always. Tonight's photograph, Doddington, taken by Sue. Beautiful picture. The daffs are out. Sue, thank you very much indeed for that. Another picture tomorrow night, around about the same time. Now, His Lordship's on holiday. Delighted to say Keely Donovan is here with us all week. Good evening to you.
You might might not be so delighted, Peter.
Why?
Anthony emails, no, Peter, it is not less potatoes, it's fewer potatoes. It's your grammar again, Peter. Simple rule of thumb, if you can count it, fewer, if not less. I mean, I have to admit, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought it sounded fine.
I don't know whether I read that or whether I said it, but I never get it right. But anyway, there is the fewer forecasts we have, the better. Only joke.
I mean, you're taking grammatical advice of someone who doesn't know how to spell where they went to school. So
that is true. That is true. And anyway, Anthony's not getting one of them.
Oh, there you go, Anthony. Sorry. Right, a real change in the weather this week. Another mild day to come tomorrow, but it will be quite blustery, and then turning much colder midweek with a significant wind chill. So it really will feel like winter has returned. So rain eventually affecting us later tomorrow, opening the floodgates to Arctic air. Wednesday will be windy, Thursday fine, but still a chill in the air. So yeah, a real change compared with last week when, of course, we had the mildest temperatures of the year so far. We've seen cloud moving in through the day. There's been quite a lot of cloud, some hazy sunshine, but as we move through this evening and overnight, we may well see some breaks in that cloud. It's going to be a breezier night, picking up later, but it won't be as cool as last night. Temperatures dropping back to around 7 or 8 degrees. Let's have a quick look at tomorrow's high waters then, at 7:49 in Bridlington and at 10:28 in Goole. So tomorrow, overall, a breezy day and a fairly cloudy day. There'll be some glimmers of brightness, but overall quite a bit of cloud. The threat of rain from the north, but for most of the day, it should stay dry. We may just see this rain spreading southwards just before dark, I think, into parts of East Yorkshire, northern Lincolnshire, but it'll probably be mainly towards tomorrow evening that rain sinks southwards. We're still on the mild side of that front, so 14 to 15 degrees above average temperatures, but tempered by that brisk breeze. And then this rain steadily spreads southwards Tuesday evening, opening the doors to much colder air for Wednesday. So Wednesday, a chilly day, a few showers around, but also some spells of sunshine, but a significant wind chill, so feeling much colder than 9 degrees. A frosty start to Thursday, dry and fine for most places, with some spells of sunshine. Peter.
Well, I was going to read a complimentary email about you in connection with these, but now you've done that one, I'll save it for a better day.
For tomorrow, maybe.
Well, maybe. Maybe, depends how you are. Have a nice evening. Take care. Now, there's a big response. I was just looking here at the on the subject of hospitals. Just wanted to read this one. It's just this minute got this from John, who says, I'm 78 years old, Peter, and have vowed I'd rather die than go back into the Hull Royal Infirmary. That's John, who's in Bridlington. We'll have some more at the end of the programme. Now, after 6 long years and hundreds of millions of pounds spent, a main road into Hull and out of is finally open to drivers. Well, it's the A63, and this is it right now, just past rush hour traffic running smoothly. As you can see, both lanes of the underpass fully open. Thousands of cars have already driven through it. National Highways say it has been one of the most complex engineering challenges in the country. And as you can see, traffic all flowing freely at the moment. Well, the cones were lifted over the weekend, but today's morning rush hour was the first big test, of course, for the underpass. Our reporter Amanda White was there.
It was one of the most polluted roads in the country. Stop-start, stop-start, with engine fumes soaking our lungs and delays choking businesses. Today is a landmark moment in a hugely complex reimagining of the A63 Castle Street.
Actually, an awful lot of work and benefit has already been realised throughout construction of the project. So people remember, if they can cast their mind back to 2020, we had 6 sets of pedestrian crossings on this road. I mean, every single one of those crossings that has come out has reduced the stop-start of traffic. And also, while we've been here, working with our operations team, we've managed to do some upgrades and refurbishment to the Mighton Swing Bridge as well, which has enabled traffic to move through this whole section much more smoothly.
The underpass opened over the weekend, but Monday morning rush hour was the first real test.
So nice for the whole team. Lots of people have actually been up and driven through it over the weekend because we're that proud of the achievement.
But there's one last piece of the jigsaw to slot in.
A lot of people have been saying, well, traffic's been flowing fine anyway, why bother with the underpass? Well, this junction is why. This has been closed off for years. On Thursday it'll reopen and the city centre and the marina will be reconnected,
but traffic on the A63 will be uninterrupted.
I think it's made a big difference in the backlog of traffic coming down on Clive Sullivan Way and into Hull itself. But the only problem you've got at the moment is, because that slip road's closed, you've got to go right up to the very end and then come into town in the back end of town.
There was a tunnel.
Yes. Were you queuing less to get into town?
Definitely. Traffic's much better.
It's much more better now. That is, when you're going to Whitensea side, you're going much more easier.
Be good for me, and as a friend of mine who lives in Barton, same for him, it's easier now, straight up the A63 to the other side of Hull where he works a lot, so yeah, it will make a difference.
It's cost £355 million to complete this project. Its success in allowing traffic to move east to west, whilst keeping the city centre linked to the waterfront, will be judged in the months that follow. Amanda White, BBC Look North, Hull.
Yeah, everywhere I went at the weekend, people were talking about it, and on the bridge there were loads of people taking pictures and getting snaps. And now we had a long wait for that as well, didn't we? More news, of course, online. More than £30 million of government money has been given to Greater Lincolnshire's mayor to build new houses on brownfield land. A Beverley Puppet Festival has been cancelled. The event has been running for 10 years, but organisers say they missed out on funding this year. That's the Beverley Puppet Festival. And finally, plans for a major solar farm have been submitted to the government. It would take up to nearly 3,000 acres of land near Spalding. Just a reminder, there's more online on the BBC News app now and 24 hours a day. Now, the government doesn't have a vision for British Steel at Scunthorpe, according to the Boston and Skegness MP Richard Tice. It comes after the government set targets last week to boost steel making and cut imports. The Reform UK deputy leader says public sector companies should be forced to buy British-made steel wherever possible. The government says its new strategy will increase domestic production from 30 to 50%, leaving the UK less reliant on steel made overseas.
You have to have an end-to-end, patriotic, buy British procurement strategy. You negotiate long-term contracts on your input costs to negotiate lower costs coming in, and then you have long-term sales contracts buying British steel wherever possible in the UK across the whole of the public sector, unless we genuinely cannot and do not make that steel.
Well, the Business Secretary, Peter Kyle, told us that he isn't going to take lectures from Richard Tice. He added that traditional blast furnaces will reach the end of their operational lives, which is why they are backing electric arc furnaces. We will follow the story. Tonight's mug, you might have already seen it. Mug of the day is for the work of Paul, P-A-U-L, the charity for brain recovery. They have a big bike ride on the 12th of April, setting off from the Duke in North Ferriby in memory of local cyclist Barry Trotter. All the proceeds are going to the brain charity Paul, headed by Paul Spence. They wanted a plug, they've got a special mug made, so we salute the work of Paul, the brain charity tonight. Another mug tomorrow. Now, a firefighter from Cleethorpes who reached the semi-finals of the BBC TV show Gladiators has described the experience as life-changing.
So first up, it's the female contenders fighting it out for a place in the grand final.
Millie Margetts lost out to Emily Bell from Croydon during Saturday night show, but said she would love to do it all over again. She never came into the studio, did she? Mind you, probably just as well, because she might have arm wrestled with me, and I know who would have lost. Now, enjoying an ice cream or some chips at the seaside can come with flocks of seagulls swooping to try and get your hands on your chips. Well, over the years, experts have come up with many ideas to scare them off, including shouting, waving our arms, even playing music. But now, a new one, and it involves a bit of arts and crafts. Well, his shouting was a success last time, so we sent Jake Zuckman back to Cleethorpes to try it out.
They're the scourge of the seaside holiday. We've tried everything to keep seagulls off our chips, including staring at them and even shouting at them.
Get off my chips! Well, now those crazy scientists have come up with what they think is an even better way of keeping the seagulls off your chips, and it's this: googly eyes on the box. Apparently, it terrifies those seagulls.
So we found that if you present gulls with takeaway boxes with and without eyes on, that gulls are far less likely to approach and eat from takeaway boxes that have eyes on. So in essence, gulls seem to be deterred by the presence of eyes.
But folks here in Cleethorpes may take some convincing.
Apparently the scientists say if you stick googly eyes onto the front of your chip box, it scares them away. They won't dare go near it. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think they'd still want the chips.
Well, I have to rate my child's art box.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, it looks all right.
It's a novel idea, isn't it?
I think it's a bit daft, but I don't know.
You know what, I'd try it. I'm scared to death of them.
I'll give you some googly eyes. That's it. It'll keep you safe. Considering maybe putting some googly eyes on your lunch there, would you like some?
I'll take some googly eyes, yeah. Stops the seagulls from taking it.
Do you think it would work?
Probably, yeah, it's a bit like a scarecrow, really, isn't it?
No.
No, I don't think so. No. Just the smell would attract them, wouldn't it?
Looks a bit scary to me.
No, seagulls are too bold. You need to put something that's sort of moving.
Well, my dog scares them off. They won't come there with my dog there.
Put some on mine.
They'll still come. The only thing that'll stop a seagull is kill it.
We've heard the theory, but will it work in the real world?
Here comes the science bit.
Maybe it was the eyes, or perhaps the chips were just a bit cold and minging by this stage. Either way, the seagulls were not in the least bit interested.
But if it works, why stick to chips? I mean, there's plenty of other things to eat here at the seaside.
You've got your ring donuts, and no seagulls having mine, Mr. Whippy. So after years of suffering from aerial bombardments, let's hope this is the solution we've all been waiting for.
Jake Zuckerman, BBC Look North, Cleethorpes.
Now, finally, let's have a reminder of our main story tonight. Patients, MPs and unions demand answers after Hull Royal Infirmary and Castle Hill hospitals hit rock bottom in the NHS league tables. Tomorrow's weather, drizzle to start, the rain as the day progresses, windy all day. Top temperatures getting up to 15 Celsius, 15 is 59 Fahrenheit. Now, response on the subject of hospitals. This one, anonymous. I'm a consultant working in Grimsby and Scunthorpe hospitals, now part of the Humber Health Partnership. The management seem to have no idea in Hull about how to conduct business. Prior to joining Hull, we were in the late 40s in the league tables, and Hull has managed to drag us into the quagmire. This one's anonymous. I've been working for Hull hospitals for 10 years. For the last few years, we've been hemorrhaging staff as our manager has gone out of her way to make life difficult as possible. We have lost so many good staff for nothing. Very sad to read, that one anonymous. And Maureen said, I would like to say my brother-in-law was airlifted to Hull in October. The care he received in ICU was second to none. They saved his life. Thank you for those. We'll have some more hospital comments tomorrow night. Don't forget, if you're staff and you want to be in touch, you know what to do. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Take care. Good night.